Hello everyone. So today we're doing something a little bit different. Today we are going to be reviewing the WeMo Insight Switch from Belkin, but we're going to be doing it on the Galaxy S6. That's right, we're using the 4K video footage from the Galaxy S6 and then blending that with our professional microphone. So what is the WeMo Insight Switch? Well, it's quite simple really. This is Belkin's attempt to bring home automation to the masses with a device that is simple to use, attractive to look at, and more importantly delivers information that you wouldn't normally get from a device plugged into it. Now the idea here is very simple. Built into this particular device is Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi Direct. It also has a monitoring unit as well, which generates stats based on how much power is drawn off the plug at any given time, and it makes that information available through an app on your smartphone. So far, so awesome. Now what we found when we actually came to use the device is it works well once you get it set up, but that setup process is prone to errors. Whether they're prone to errors because of user error or because of the product, I'm not entirely sure, but looking online, most people seem to report that it takes a good 3 or 4 attempts to get this to work well. The idea is fairly simple. You plug this into a power socket, you then, via Wi-Fi Direct, connect your phone to this socket, essentially over the air using your Wi-Fi. Now at this point, you need to put in details for your wireless access point, your router within your home. Because currently, when you first start this up, essentially it will just be talking between the device and your smartphone, not over your general network, which is what we need to happen. Now, once you put in the details for your access point, effectively the access point's name and password, this will then communicate with your access point and you don't need to use Wi-Fi Direct anymore. Any smartphone running the WeMo app that is also connected to your Wi-Fi will be able to talk to this device and pull stats off it. What we found in practice is it required 2 or 3 attempts to really get this to actually be happy on our main network. Otherwise, we'd have to reboot it, it would disappear off the network and so on. Eventually, several software updates came down as well, which may have helped to alleviate that initial out-of-the-box experience, but it still wasn't as smooth as it could be. Now, statistics-wise, what can this device tell you? Well, it can give you a very good steer on how much power is being drawn off this plug socket at any given time. Now, you could, if you wanted to, plug in, say, a 4-gang or an 8-gang plug and have multiple devices all drawing power through this at one time. So you can get an idea, for instance, how much your entire home theatre system is using or your PC setup. Or likewise, you could just plug one device into it directly and just monitor how much power that device is using. It has the ability for you to put in how much your kilowatt hour cost is as well, so you can get an actual idea as to how much power you're using in real time, but also each day and over a month as well as an average. Very useful. Because this is connected to your Wi-Fi and by extension your internet, you can also control devices remotely as well. Now that means that if, for instance, you want to turn your lights on before you come home or even after you've gone out, you can do that simply by opening the app and hitting a button, and it will turn on or off this device. Really useful. But likewise, Belkin have gone a bit further. What they've also managed to do is to put in a series of rules as well, which are based on the individual device. So for instance, you could say, once this device reaches, say, £2 of cost per day, turn it off. Or you could say, between these hours of say 8 AM and 9 AM, I don't want this device on, but I do want it to turn on after 9 in the evening. All of these are rules that can be triggered directly on the device. Very handy. But Belkin went yet another step further. Because this is internet connected, it has access to the wider internet if you'd like it to. It also works with if this then that, allowing you to set up complex rules-based situations which the WeMo will respond to. It can also store data that the WeMo has generated in the cloud, for instance in Google Drive, all using IFIT. This is really cool stuff. Overall, I really like what WeMo are doing here. Whilst I appreciate the additional statistics in here are really helpful for kind of getting an idea and handle on your power usage, WeMo and the Belkin devices have actually gone to a stage where now there are so many different types of plug sockets and so on available that you don't just have to have the insights, you can just get a bog standard plug socket which also happens to be internet aware and smartphone aware and can be turned off and worked with remotely. There's a really good ecosystem growing up around WeMo, which in my opinion is making it head and shoulders above the rest of the offerings on the market. Certainly this is so easy to use for the general consumer